If you thought the Boys franchise barely gives much importance to the lower-tier superheroes like Supersonic or Gunpowder, they created Polarity to prove us all wrong. Sure, he wasn't as famous as Homelander or Black Noir in the last couple of seasons, but in the spin-off Gen V, the magnet-manipulating hero has carved a niche of his own. Introduced to us as the young Supes, Andre's father, Polarity's character has evolved over time, especially in the current season of the show. So, before Vought whitewashes everything and starts considering him as a precious asset, more than just a playable character in Vought's Tournament of Heroes video game, let's break down who he really is and what the man is capable of. So hop on this ride, because there's nothing more exciting than decoding an underdog of a superhero. Who Polarity really is. Polarity is a character created solely for the Gen V television series and is played by Save the Last Dance famed actor Sean Patrick Thomas. The Supes' real first name is unknown. He goes by Mr. Anderson, who was born during the rock music era of the early 1970s. For some reason, the Anderson couple accepted Vought's offer to inject their infant with the infamous blue serum, Compound V. And that's how baby Anderson transformed into a metahuman with powers that could make Magneto insecure. He then took on the moniker of Polarity. Like most other Supes, Anderson too would join Godolphin University and graduate from there, hoping to be a part of the Seven. Understandably, that's all any and every person with the V running in their system aspires to be. However, he never really made the cut and had to settle for being a B-listed superhero. Nonetheless, Polarity was a famous one in that strata. Even if he didn't get a seat at the Vought boardroom, Polarity would receive recognition in other ways. He came to be respected as a distinguished alumnus and trustee of Godolphin University. The man even has a goddamn statue of him on the university campus. He particularly drew attention and gained fame after starring in an in-universe science fiction movie, Area 51, which broke the box office records and further increased Polarity's reputation in the superhero clique. Once he fathered a son, Polarity did not hesitate to follow his own parents' footsteps and got Andre a dose of Compound V, essentially carrying on his superhero lineage. Andre gained similar powers to his dad and was soon put in Godolphin University. Polarity loved Andre with everything, but that doesn't mean he was an ideal parent. He always sowed seeds of ambition in the young child, encouraging, potentially brainwashing Andre to emulate Polarity's life choices. He had extremely high expectations of Andre and indirectly put him under a lot of pressure to achieve high ranks and secure a place among the elite superheroes. If not overtly villainous, Polarity does harbor a minor antagonistic and corrupted nature when he chooses to compromise all his morals just to ensure Andre's success and tries to keep him as far as possible from the dark secrets of the woods. Unfortunately, as fate had it, not only did Polarity lose his son, but he also started experiencing a decline in his health owing to overuse of his powers, and soon the writers shifted his character arc. What does Polarity physically look like? When we first caught a glimpse of this man, he was already in his late 40s with black hair, which started showing streaks of gray. He appears to be a stout Supe with a pretty impressive physique, brown eyes, and is African American by birth. He generally dons a black jacket over a simple t-shirt in the series, but according to fan discussions on Reddit, his suit is kinda like that of A-Train's, with a black and blue color scheme, with blue being the common factor here. Honestly, I can't make out the distinct colors of his suit, which all just looks very shiny. Polarity was married to a human, Layla, who worked as his brand manager. So to answer the question, what does he look like? Well, Polarity has always looked like he's gonna kick some ass. You got me? He's always had that aura about him. A little nefarious maybe, but he's definitely not a goody two-shoes. What are Polarity's primary powers? As I said, it's quite difficult to look over the similarities between Polarity and Magneto, or even better, Polarity and Magneto's daughter, Polaris. Showrunner Eric Kripke, with the help of Garth Ennis, has left no stone unturned to spoof the Marvel and DC universe in the entire Boys series, including the teen spin-off. Okay, without beating around the bush, I guess it's pretty clear that Polarity's powers had to do with magnetic manipulation. The man possessed possesses immense power to control magnetic fields and even reshape metals entirely. His ability to play with magnetism is quite literally in his hands. One gesture, and metals are under his command. Apart from this, Polarity also enjoys the free package of superhuman strength and durability that comes with being a superhero. However, we never really witnessed him exercising his full strength, but given his demeanor, he knows he can do quite some damage if he wants to. Even more than strength, Polarity would be proud of his endurance, as he would often tell his son that they are made of steel and can withstand anything. Polarity also possesses enhanced hearing and can pick up high-frequency sounds that humans cannot. Is Superman hearing this? I swear I wasn't trying to pun with the steel part. Oops. Also, let's not forget that he is quite a talented actor and has now mastered the art of being a college lecturer. The 6th episode of Gen V's Season 2 showed us something really unexpected. See, we already know that having lost Andre, Polarity has joined Marie and Emma to dig up the nasty practices in Godolkin and uncover the reasons behind his son's death. In this season, his character evolved from a drunk, grieving father to a somewhat caring guide for Emma and Marie. But as far as his powers are concerned, man, did he give Cypher a hard time. Cypher was initially messing with him, turning Polarity into somewhat of a human puppet, but when he arrogantly pokes his wounds too hard and demeans Andre, the latter manages to garner enough strength to wrestle Cypher's control and shoves him out of the window. Taking down Cypher is a huge feat, but I believe this was just a teaser of what Polarity can do. We're about to witness something massive. How does Polarity control his powers? As long as there is metal, Polarity would emerge as the hero. That much is clear. But if we think of how the man controls his power, I'm guessing it all comes down to focus and willpower. Despite his age and weakening physical conditions, Polarity can still manipulate magnetic zones by concentrating and using hand motions. But as of the last episode, an important aspect of Polarity's power control cropped up: mental strength. Polarity can channel his anger and frustration into motivation, which then renders him extraordinary powers to overthrow otherwise seemingly undefeatable superheroes. Now, there are a couple of other fan theories as to how Polarity's abilities got a sudden boost against Cypher. First, probably he aimed at the metal in Cypher's blood and controlled him. Or maybe under stress, Polarity can practice telekinesis, which is not just restricted to metals. Personally, the first one seems more plausible, given that if Polarity puts his mind to it, he can actually control the iron in someone's blood. The other possibility is that Cypher angered him so much that Polarity ended up creating a magnetic field around them and could control it. Or probably he tapped into magnetic waves of Cypher's brain and turned the tables. Whatever the reason might be, I guess the Supe is in the same boat as us. He was barely able to walk or articulate himself in the beginning and was shocked himself at the display of this unprecedented power. There's a chance that Polarity might figure out new ways to maneuver his abilities and also realize that he was getting worn out because he wasn't using his skills the right way or to his full potential. Gen V has given us hope of making Polarity rise in his own right and unlock a level of potential which could challenge the famously powerful heroes. Let's just keep our fingers crossed that the creators don't rush or cram his character growth unnecessarily. How does his body react to using powers? In short, not good at all. This is a thing that runs in the Anderson family, and as Cypher hinted that Polarity's son died while trying to push himself too much while exercising his powers. If you remember, in Season 1, we could see Polarity having a seizure on a talk show with Cameron Coleman, where he jerks forward and causes metal objects around him to malfunction. He was soon rushed to the Global Wellness Center ambulance, and during his journey to the hospital, he began experiencing seizures again and crashed the ambulance, resulting in the metal parts flying out of the vehicle. While Andre tried to help his father by using his own powers, he ended up breaking an EMT's arm by uprooting a fire extinguisher. Polarity is eventually taken to a Supe hospital inside Vought Tower, where he's admitted to a medical room. There, Andre apologizes to his still unconscious father for his frequent absence. Episode 5, the second season, namely The Kids Are Not Alright, has also depicted Polarity suffering yet another convulsion with kitchen knives and utensils flying all around his home. However, now that we know about Marie's healing powers, she might be the key to restoring Polarity back to full health, where he can tap into his highest potential without damaging his brain anymore. What are Polarity's weaknesses? Apart from the obvious seizures, Polarity could also experience other neurological dysfunctions like lightheadedness or tics. Unfortunately, whenever Polarity suffers an attack, he is a danger to humans owing to the violent nature of them. Even if it's not a literal weakness, to realize that you are a threat to any innocent human being due to a medical condition is indeed painful. While Polarity does enjoy the perks of durability, he can still be knocked unconscious or, worse, killed by extreme force. Superhuman hearing also comes with its cons. If Polarity listens to extremely high-frequency audio, it can cause him immense pain and even neutralize him briefly. But that's not all. In my opinion, Polarity's biggest weakness was choosing to be complacent in Godolkin's and Vought's illegal practices. He sat and dined with a group of criminals and chose to turn a blind eye to everything as long as he and Andre could revel in his fame. Polarity lacked the courage to do the right thing, while Andre fought for it with his life. That was Polarity's biggest flaw. He was a self-serving coward. However, Season 2 has given him a chance to redeem himself, and honestly, with the raging quest for truth he has now, no physical vulnerability should bring him down. Please, please, don't let your son and all the fans down. What is Polarity's personality like? Polarity's personality has been as complex as a Rubik's Cube. In the first season, we can see him as a bureaucratic slave, trying to oil whichever wheel he needed to and showing up at fancy interviews and galas to keep him surrounded with the biggies of the superhero cult. As I said, he was extremely selfish about his own people and lacked morality. In fact, at one point, Andre started pulling away from him, realizing how cruel his dad can be just to see him succeed. Andre was not ready to trade his soul for success, which Polarity would have done in the blink of an eye. However, in Season 2, we see him with his guard down. With bottles of alcohol, he was just a father who lost the one thing that meant the world to him. To think about it, Polarity was going out on a limb just for Andre. Sadly, he should have realized what his son really wanted and helped him in time. Nonetheless, he pulls himself up and now has quite a charming personality as a professor in Godolkin. At the same time, Polarity expresses a sense of conviction to right all the wrongs and faces even the harshest of situations with his head held high. That's exactly where he starts commanding our respect. He's a man who accepted his flaws and decided to be better. No, your ex won't ever be like this, so please don't text. How do others react to Polarity? If you're a budding Supe in Godolkin University and you see a man's sculpture on the grounds every day, chances are you'd have nothing but awe and reverence for him. Polarity's status as a celebrated alumnus and the perfect example for all made people instantly treat him with dignity and a sense of regard. It wasn't easy to just walk up to him and start talking. Even when Emma walked in to tell Polarity about Andre, she did so with utmost care and civility. Moreover, he always had this film star vibe about him, which made people look up to him even more and hold him on a pedestal. See, there are hundreds of students at the soup-making factory of a college, and some of them know that joining the Seven is a distant dream. For them, Polarity is the closest thing to the epitome of success, even as a member of the second-class metahumans. Marvelous verdict. That's all for now, folks. I actually had a lot of fun digging up and analyzing all the powers of a seemingly mediocre superhero, and really hope you enjoyed the video too. Polarity is full of surprises, and I guess that's a pun on his name. His personalities have been poles apart in the 2 seasons, and we're just getting started with what this man can do once he sets his mind to it. On the surface, Polarity can just play with magnetism and metals, but once you look deep enough, you'd realize he has a lot more layers to his character. From a corporate bootlicker to a dedicated dad, and now an aging superhero fighting against all odds, Polarity is a treasure chest that I believe would keep on giving. Whether Marie can completely cure him or not is yet to be seen, but at least we know that Polarity's abilities can wreak havoc when directed properly. Love him or hate him, he is out there to make a mark on the world. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, flood the comments with all the theories you have. Ciao, and if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.